Hello and welcome to Oboe Winfrey, 1 year on. Yes, it's true, I can hardly believe that it's been a whole year of blue shirts and varying hairstyles, not to mention all the wonderful people I've had the chance to talk to. Now, regular followers will no doubt remember that Malachy is the ICO's principal double bass, and he was my very first guest, so it seemed the right thing to do to invite him back to talk about the year. You might remember that we were discussing all the parties he's had at his house. Now, I can tell you, I still haven't been invited to a party at his house. So I've also invited Margaret Kelly along, as she looks after the friends of the ICO really nicely, and I hope there might be a party that she can invite me to. This year at the Irish Chamber Orchestra, we've really been supported by our friends, and it means such a lot to us. So Malachy, looking back over the year, what do you wish you'd known then that you know now?
That's a good question, Matthew. I don't believe there's anything that I would have done differently. I mean, obviously, ideally, one would like that there wasn't a pandemic, that we could have gone on doing what we did. But I can't think of anything that I would like to have been warned of. I rewatched the interview that you and I did a year ago, and one thing that struck me about it was the absolute positivity that I was making the most of the opportunity for a bit of more slower pace, take advantage to do some things, personal development things on the house, you know, that kind of thing. But you and I were both certain that we'd be out of this for a few months and snap back to normal. And I don't think I would want to have known what I know now, which is that it won't be snapping back, that it'll be a gradual slide back into normality, and there'll be steps forward and steps back. I wouldn't have liked to have known that, but that is the main thing, that watching that video, I thought we were under misapprehension.
Yeah, and you mentioned the positivity that we both shared. That's for sure, I think, really carried on throughout the Irish Chamber Orchestra as a whole, and especially the way that the orchestra has pivoted to such a lot of online content. But could you tell me something about the highlights of the work over the year for you, whether that's our online stuff or our concerts, something from your own perspective?
Well, I mean, the orchestra were blessed that when we got the opportunity in September of last year to do some concerts to a small but real live orchestra, or audience rather, we because we're a small organization, we were able to schedule these things at the last minute. We were even able to do two programs on the same day, which was terrific. So those moments of connection, of actual live connection, were amazing. But it has also to be said that we have got better at the connection through the medium of a camera and so on. And this was another thing that came up watching our interview from a year ago, was that the idea of a pre-recorded connection was really almost like no connection at all, as far as I was concerned at that stage. Now I have become better, and it's like acting, I suppose, that you become better at envisaging the audience that you are in fact reaching. You're just not reaching them necessarily right now live, or even if it is live, it's not in the same room. But I have got better at that, and we all have. We've all got better at that business of seeing the audience in our mind and connecting with them in the way that that substitutes for the real live connection.
Fantastic. And when you think about all the I Create Online series, is there anything that's a real standout for you?
Oh yeah. The one which featured the mime artist whose name escapes me now. What's his name? Simon
Thompson.
Simon, yeah. And of course it's also amazing because it's Jorg's piece of Mendelssohn reimagined. And so it's Jorg and it's Mendelssohn and it's us. And I just thought the Limerick City was portrayed in such a beautiful, poignant way. And the whole thing, having no text, it was sort of a perfect vehicle for the music. I just thought that piece was really stunning. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there's a longer version, a kind of director's cut version of the same thing, which will be released in due course, which is the complete piece of music set to a slightly longer version of the same. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Dominic Koschitzky has such a lot of footage, and so they are now going to redo it as exactly as you say, as a longer version. Now, Margaret, before I ask you what's been happening with the Friends of the ICO, can you tell me a little bit about the origins of the Friends and what it means to be a friend?
Hello, Matthew, and greetings from Mallow. The Friends of the ICO, they evolved really from a core group of faithful supporters in Dublin, and now 51 years later we have friends. We're almost nationwide with some international friends. And to me, the Friends of the ICO, they sparkle. They are our group of supporters. They're inspirational. They support the orchestra passionately and financially. And this contributes to the upkeep of the artistic programme of the orchestra, and also to our very worthwhile community engagement programme.
Now, as I said already, we really appreciate our Friends, but how has the Friends, or the Friends as an organisation, coped during the lockdown?
First of all, in return for all of that the Friends do for us, we also organise different events for them. So obviously in lockdown, with the absence of concerts, we haven't had such a great opportunity to liaise with them at that level. But we normally organise events for them. We organise pre-concert talks and give them the opportunity to meet musicians, give them the opportunity to meet the leader of the orchestra, to get to know the visiting soloists. And I find sometimes, Matthew, that people that are on their own, they may be hesitant to come to a concert, they may be hesitant to come to a pre-concert meal, but we encourage them to do so. We encourage them to turn up. We meet them, we greet them, they sit in at a table, and before they know it, they in turn are making new friends. And the same with our trips abroad. We welcome people. It's for individuals, it's for couples, it's for friends, family. And it's just been great fun, actually, getting to know them, phoning them at home, chatting to them. And at this stage, I know the names of their dogs, and we're all getting on great. It's been great fun, and I think it shows that our friends are very loyal to the Irish Chamber Orchestra, and I wanted to connect with them and reassure them of our loyalty to them as friends. And we're welcoming new friends at this point, and we would love to see new people join the fun.
Fantastic. I mean, it certainly sounds like there could be some parties there for me to
Absolutely.
go to. I mean,
You-
I don't know. I don't.
Absolutely.
You're doing better than Malachy and his parties, that's for sure. Now, before we go, I want to ask Malachy. I know your parents are Friends of the ICO, and I wondered what it's meant to you as a family that they are part of the Irish Chamber Orchestra journey as well.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have them there. Now, they were always there from when the Irish Chamber Orchestra moved to Limerick, when we started our Limerick chapter of our existence, which was in 1995. My parents were living in the West, down in Ennis, County Clare. They were working there for about 4 years, maybe 5 years. And so they were locals for us then in our Limerick concerts. And there's a funny story, if I can tell you. My dad made himself a bumper sticker. Like, who makes themselves a bumper sticker, to go in his back window? But it said, the Irish Chamber Orchestra, the best band in Ireland. And he made this himself to put in his car. And then he was at an event, and he was living in County Clare, so he was at an event where the Kilfenora Cayley band were playing, and he chopped off the bit that said the best band in Ireland because he didn't want to insult the Kilfenora Cayley band. Isn't that just brilliant? So
That's
anyway,
just totally perfect.
The point of that story is that they were 100% behind the orchestra and have always been. Not only because I was involved, but my own mother played flute with the Irish Chamber Orchestra in its earlier existence as the New Irish Chamber Orchestra in about the year 1970-71, which is when the orchestra began. And so my mother was a member, or at least sometime member. And so their relationship goes back. But they signed up a number of years ago to be what we call, am I right, Margaret? They're called lifelong friends. Forever friends. So they're like permanent card-holding ICO addicts.
Thank you both very much. And indeed, thank you to everyone for watching and sharing the Oboe Winfrey journey over the last year. The ICO continues to evolve and develop online, and hopefully very soon we'll be back performing live again in Limerick and Dublin, and Malachy might finally have a party I can get to.
I will.
Take care. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.